Was a nanner before I could man. Was a nanner, the man with the plan. As you're eating a banana. Thank you for joining us. This is our bonus episode, our monthly recap, where we're going to do this probably once a month and talk about all the episodes up until now, what's going on in our lives external to the topics we talk about. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit more free form. There's not really a schedule or routine. There's just it's more hashtag unscripted.
Yeah, they can't stop us from eating on the mics in this one. This is our episode.
You'll have to come to my house and pry this goddamn banana from my cold, dead hands. These Barney-Nar-Nars are who we are.
He's who we are. Don't choke, John.
Oh, dude, you're making me laugh.
I think my first aid's about to run out. I don't think I could give you the Heimlich.
I still know, you can't call it that anymore. And also,
second aid?
The second. You go in and you're like, wait, someone else has to try first, and then I will try.
We're going to work our way up to the levels of expertise.
Dude, yeah, then like the fourth and fifth aid who actually know what they're doing are like, come on, just go, just fuck it up.
It's like a Pokemon gym.
Everyone has to try and lose.
Until the doctor's like, hold on, who has the least experience?
There is an order to these things.
How do you think I became a doctor? You must work your way up. Well, it's gotten a good start.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is the BONUSODE. You know, after recording, we just recorded episode 5, and so we took a chili cheese dog break.
And then we thought we'd be healthy and eat a banana.
Yeah, so we just started. So as Kyle calls them, Barney-Nar-Nars, which is
Barney-Nar-Nars.
literally my favorite thing in the world.
You know, these are basically just sugar.
Bananas?
Yeah.
They got K, and I got special K, which is potassium.
But, it's sugar, though. A lot of sugar.
It's sugar nanners. So, this is our episode. So if you got a problem with me horking a nanner down into my gullet, then I'm sorry.
And just hang around for
I didn't mean to upset you.
1 minute, it'll be gone.
Yeah, we're rapidly smashing nanners. Okay, so we are several minutes in, and we have no content. So,
if I lay this right there, you think you'll trip on it?
Kyle just threw his banana peel into the middle of my floor. Kyle, if I even step on it, I'm going to go full Monty and comedically throw myself into a half cow and like upside down myself.
Chris Farley yourself.
Chris Farley myself. Also, what the hell's wrong with you? You pick up that banana peel.
What do you mean? It wasn't me.
All right. Well, I'll get done with mine, then I'll continue. Wasn't me. All right. So monthly recap. So this month we had 5, or over the course of the last month, we talked about topics related to health and human experience, and we hope you enjoyed them. Kyle picked up his banana peel and threw it against my door and missed the trash can. I think the intention was to throw it away.
Yeah, my intentions were good.
Well, all right.
I'll get that later, probably.
So we talked a lot about human experiences and our own anecdotal evidence through the human experience lens, through two fellas and who fellas in Louisville, Kentucky. What? Did that get you from the Grinchy Stokers?
Yeah.
Who fellas? Damn it. God, if I go off laughing, you're gonna have to take over.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can see, we're trying very unscripted here. So anyway, we talked about those because those are the kind of things that Kyle and I want to talk about and that we're going to keep talking about. And they're really important to us, and we want to, give any help we can or talk about our experience on those topics that we're interested in. And hopefully they provide some insight into those topics and even more into our brains and how we perceive those topics. So yeah, that's kind of why. And, obviously people ask us, like, whenever people listen to this and I tell people to listen and they listen to a few minutes, like before they get into the book, they're like, what is Savage Discourse? And I tell them, I'm like, look, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. It's a title.
It's a title. It's a string of letters.
It's a way of life.
It's a way. No diggity. And it's It's just, it's honestly, it's two best friends having a conversation about topics that they're passionate about and they've learned a little bit about, and they want to share and they want to hopefully provide their perceptions with anyone else in the case that it might help or provide something interesting to listen to. And it's, just two people talking about things in the realm of human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't understand that, well, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot teach him advanced algebra.
Have you ever tried?
No, I honestly haven't. All the horses I have can't get past the intro course.
Pre-algebra?
Pre-algebra.
That's where all the horses get stuck.
That's where they get stuck because... Okay, I'm glad that we can talk about this because today I learned... Have you ever heard what... Okay, so animals that have a cleft, that have feet, or that have hooves that are different and are odd and even are called ungulates.
Huh.
So horses are ungulates, like giraffes and rhinoceri. And there's two different things. Anyway, they are ungulates, so they have trouble holding the pencils. They get it. They conceptually understand exactly the mathematical principles we're distilling. They literally cannot translate that into written text.
I see. They can't show their work.
No, they got the correct answers, but like, how do I know they're not taking shortcuts?
That's rough.
That was rough.
Life's rough for an ungulate.
For an ungulate. So actually we're really excited. We probably should do a better job with this episode because there's some really exciting, there's a thing that happened. So we finally got our first, I want to call it fan mail.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
Okay.
Fan email. It didn't come from the postal service, which may or may not exist by the time you're listening to this.
God. We got our first fan mail and it came into my inbox digitally.
Yeah.
And it's, so we actually got some questions about our episode 4, which is Cutting Anchors, if you remember. Do you remember that, Kyle?
I remember that.
Of course you be. You couldn't possibly not remember that.
I was there. I remember.
Batu was there. And so we got an email specifically about that episode. So we're going to answer a few of those, and then we'll go from there. And we'll talk about our personal lives and our competition.
Mm-hmm. Which we're both failing right now.
Speak for yourself.
We're both in third place.
There's only two combatants, and we're like in the bottom quartile of the contenders. Okay, so the first question was, number 1, is it possible? So this is as it pertains to toxicity. Is it possible that toxicity exists on a spectrum, meaning that people can be toxic in certain areas of their life and helpful in other areas?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we actually talked a little bit about that, which makes me wonder how closely they actually, how much of the episode they consumed.
I'd say they consumed
I know, I'm just being silly. Oh. So yeah, I think we did talk about this. It's very possible that toxicity is definitely more mercurial. It's kind of, it comes and it goes. It's not always just about certain things. And, like you could be like, I remember a woman who I was dating a while ago, and her relationship with her mom was a pastor of a church. And that's only secondary. The thing is that this mom wanted to control everything, and she did it using the kind of precepts of her religion, everything else to kind of control. And so in that regard, she was extremely toxic to this person that I knew. But she also helped this individual take care of her son. Whenever the mom had to, the woman I was talking to had a 2-year-old son, and she also would watch her son, and would have no issues with that, and was very sweet in that regard. So I think it's more complicated than just all. I don't think anyone is all toxic all the time.
Yeah, it's not just. Yeah, yeah. I don't think anyone's just toxic 100% of the time. Everyone's got good and bad, but. Yeah. Some people are certainly more toxic than others.
Yeah, and I think that like the toxicity, I absolutely think that you can that a human, because we're so complex and dynamic, there's so many aspects of ourselves and so many different interactions and dynamics that really, in aspects of yourself that only come out in certain dynamics and certain situations. I definitely could see how. And so, I absolutely think that, there's so many aspects of ourselves that it could come out in certain things. And so, I would definitely agree that toxicity, I mean, I think that you'll recognize the toxic people, but I also think that let's turn that lens inward. I think we can be toxic in our own lives to ourselves. Like,
yeah, definitely.
There's I really want to, well, we'll save that for the competition, but there are, things that I want to change in my life. And there are times where I self-sabotage and I talk myself out of it. And, that could be seen as kind of a self-sabotaging toxicity.
Yeah. Toxicity all around us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
toxicity in the city.
That'd be one for Big Papa Stampley to do.
I don't even know what that would. I want to hear that so bad. So, Big Papa Stampley is in episode 5. If you want to know about him and how awesome he is and his kind of musical genre. So, oh man, hold on, let me get this Barney-Nar-Nar.
Cork it down. So yeah.
So that's the first question. So do you have anything more?
Nope.
Okay. I wasn't even done with my question. Do you have any? Nope. All right. Well, moving on with expedience, apparently. 2 from our fan mail. Do you guys believe in keeping friends around that are toxic, and they are toxic, but their toxicity is what makes them interesting and fun to be around? But deep down, you can't trust them. Well, I have 2 responses to this.
Go ahead.
Okay. My first response is a moral, is that if you are enabling the toxic behavior of a friend, I think that you're linking the parts of you that enjoy that kind of bad behavior to that other person, and you're seeing that part of you in them and you enjoy, or maybe you're so removed from it, you just enjoy the spectacle and it doesn't affect you. And it does, obviously there's other humans that it affects out there, but it doesn't. And so I think the first thing is morally, I think you're kind of remiss or would be considered in the wrong for doing that, for enabling that kind of without addressing, like we talked about, having a conversation honestly with them. And, going through various steps before ultimately cutting that anchor.
Yeah.
The second thing I will say is that, it's complicated because, like we just talked about in question 1, people are nuanced and they're complex, and people are not toxic all the time. And so I think it really becomes like you get to choose who's in your life. You get to choose the social relationships you have, unless I can't imagine a situation that it wouldn't, maybe like an arranged marriage or something, but like you always get to choose who, and your family. There you go. That's an obvious one that I completely was blindsided. I didn't think of. And, I think that because of that, you get to weigh the toxicity, the toxicity of them and the noxiousness of their toxiousness. And, you get to make that decision, like whether or not you wish to continue that relationship. And I think depending on the aspects of them that are toxic, I think it can be more or less difficult to make.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're, I agree. If you are keeping someone around that's toxic because you like them because of that, that'd probably be bad if you never addressed it and you just let them live, or you like fed into it and tried to make them more crazy just because you like enjoy seeing them do crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you've tried to explain to them that they are irrational,
well, but it kind of makes you guilty by association if you reinforce the toxicity that doesn't directly affect you, but
if you reinforce it.
Yeah.
But I think if you explain your side of it and are like, I don't think this probably isn't the right way to go about things, and then they still do it. I mean, if it bothers you at that point, I guess you could remove yourself from it. But I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing to stay around if you've done your best or are still trying to actively try to make them less toxic.
Well, and the thing that we kind of haven't really talked a lot about as it pertains to toxicity is the human element. Like, in that, people who are toxic or have toxic aspects or engage in toxic behavior in certain situations, there's a human being there, and they're not just a title, they're not just a word, they really have their own life and their goals. So, the human part of that is that first step, is to really recognize, like, hey, you may not realize that you're behaving in this way. I just want to tell you, So my birds were making noises, so I threw my banana at them.
Were you done with it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't, but I am now.
Oh,
I guess I have to
John.
be now. Barney-Nar-Nar down.
Oh.
So, the human part of that is, is really recognizing that they are doing their best. But then when you bring it to their attention and you see that nothing is changing or that there's defensive, after several conversations and nothing seems to get better, again, it really comes back to that you weighing, like, is the benefit that they provide to you, and this doesn't sound very Buddhist because Buddhists would say love them regardless, just minimize your contact with them. But I think from a human relationship perspective, there's only so much time in your life and in the day and in our lifespan, and you really get to kind of decide who's in your composition, your friendship composition.
Yeah. And if they're not affecting you in a negative way, I don't think it's your duty to cut them out of your life so they make a change or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think that's very true. So yeah. You have anything else on that one?
Nope.
All right. Okay. So the last question is, I would be interested on your guys' take on trying to explore ways of making someone become less toxic. However, and for example, if you're married to someone who has toxic behavior and you're trying to change that and you can't just walk away. Ooh. That's a good one.
Communication.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. The big C word, baby. Oh, wait. No, not
there
that.
There is another C word.
Oh, no. Everything's falling apart, Kyle.
It was a good run.
It was a We're not even going to upload the little episode. We're just going to quit. I agree with that. And there's a lot of great books. And I've been waiting a long time to recommend these. There's some by the Arbinger Institute. They're called Leadership and Self-Deception is one. The second one is called The Anatomy of Peace. And I don't remember what the third one is called. But The Anatomy of Peace is really, really good. And it's basically about the collusion that we do with other people. So, for example, it's a collusion square, but essentially there's 4 quadrants. On the left side, the kind of, we'll do like top left to bottom left is 1 and 2, and then bottom right to top right is 3 and 4. So like 1 and 2 is the other person, and 3 and 4 is you. And so their top one is their thoughts and feelings, and then their behavior. And then on yours, number 3, and the bottom right is your thoughts and feelings regarding their behavior, and the top of that of the square is your behavior. And then it goes in a counterclockwise motion. So you can see how your behavior would affect the actions and feelings of the person and how they're going to respond to that in turn. So the first thing that we really have to do is look at ourselves, and are we creating the toxicity for that other person? Are we putting them in a situation where that's their only way of managing that? Is that their only response to the toxicity? And if the case is not, and you stop your toxic, and so it's called a collusion because you're colluding with that person to create this toxic environment. And this is all in The Anatomy of Peace. It's a great book by the Arbinger Institute. It's part of that series. And I think that's really helpful. I think that's really helpful to see because it allows you to see where your hand in it, because obviously they don't just come to you unless they, have some issue or maybe they're upset or they do have some pathology or something. They really are not. People don't just come out of left field and start coming at you for some reason. The seed of that starts in their minds and their feelings and thoughts, and then it comes into their more tangible ideas, and then their behaviors and their act, and then their communication with you. Is one way to is kind of is the model they use. Think about that. And so, I think that in such situations like that, the first step is to kind of look at what your role is. Did I put them in a situation where they have to respond this way? And the second thing is, after you cut out and you really look at then that's the communication. And the communication can be a part of the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, you could both be equally as toxic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Not really looking at yourself.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't have any personal experience, but I could see how if both parties were introspective enough, you could determine that the collusion was indefinite and infinite because you realize that your own toxicity breeds their toxicity and vice versa, and it's just not a healthy relationship. I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
There's another great series of books called, there's a bunch of authors. The first one's called Crucial Conversations. The second one is called Crucial Accountability. Third one is called Influencer, and it's about how to. Kyle just.
What happened, John?
Kyle just enjoyed my was just talked to me with his ass. Thank you, Kyle, for your meaningful participation in this conversation.
You're welcome.
A long row grumble from down Belumble. And anyway, the book is called Crucial Conversations and Crucial Accountability, and the third one's Influencer, and it's all about how to have those kind of conversations with people. They call it, in terms of high stakes, crucial, where people can get hurt or relationships could end. And I've used it a lot in my own professional career. It's been incredibly helpful. And it just talks about that and how to approach somebody, and there's all these there's 7 or 8 steps. And the first, I'm not going to go. I could go through them all because
I know you could.
But anyway, check it out. It's a really great thing. But yeah, that's kind of is that, when you're stuck and you're locked in. I mean, the thing is marriage is not for forever. If you find out that maybe you're both toxic or this person is indelibly, unchangingly toxic and they refuse to see that, and you could always go to therapy.
You should always go to therapy.
Should always go to couples therapy.
Before ending a marriage.
Yeah, have an educated, an educated third party that can really identify the tropes and the paths and the patterns they're seeing and help you kind of identify those and really, get back to where you felt in the beginning and reset and heal. But if all that doesn't work, I mean, marriage is not kind of the end. And I mean, and I guess another analog to this might be like if your parent or somebody is kind of toxic and you can't get away from them or choose, you can't choose another parent. I mean, I guess you can.
I mean, you don't. As hard as it is, you can cut that anchor too. I mean.
Yeah, and I mean there is therapy. There is family therapy. It's an entire branch of analysis for psychological practitioners. It's an entire practice. So there is family therapy for healing and for identifying that. And if that ultimately, if they won't go or if they refuse, and you've tried communicating, you've tried seeing where they're coming from, you've tried looking at the collusion, looking at what your behaviors and how their behaviors are. I mean, like Kyle said, it's not goodbye for forever, but maybe it has to be for now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's not really fun, but I think that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the super fun, but I guess it got really serious fan mail part. Thank you so much for that individual who wrote us in. And we encourage you guys, if you like what you hear, if you want to hear our thoughts on things, please send us an email, write us a comment. We'll
probably do like a monthly recap and answer all the questions we get.
Yeah, I think I would love to do that. Was really fun. I love doing that. That was really cool.
We'll eat bananas.
We will make sure we're always eating the Barney-Nar-Nars.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lifestyle I can get behind.
Yeah.
Okay, so that really brings us to kind of the last segment, which is how Kyle and I are doing. How are we doing, Kyle?
I'm swell.
Are you?
How are you?
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. With everything we've talked about, I feel like I haven't had a lot of effort, a lot of time due to the C word. I'm still, I would say right now, gainfully unemployed until a few more weeks when, all that kind of ends. But I've really been, this time has been so helpful because I've been meditating a lot and reading a lot. And, I've been I'm learning After Effects, which is an Adobe video. It's like Photoshop for video editing, and it's my new passion, and I love it. And I've been showing Kyle and telling him everything I've been learning and doing. And whenever we watch a YouTube video together, I'm like, "Hey, Kyle, you see that effect in the background? You want to know how they did that?" And he's like, "Let me guess." I'm like, "Yeah, I can tell you it's this and this and this." And so it's put a strain on our relationship.
He's like, "Hey, you see those clouds up in the sky? I can put that in a video."
We were watching a video of a politician talking, and there was depth of field. And I was like, "Hey, Kyle, you see that effect around that person talking?" And he's like, "You mean the effect the camera does naturally?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can reproduce that in After Effects." So anyway, I've been doing that, and I've been running a lot. So do you want to talk about our competition? Do you want me to talk about it?
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, let them know. Tell them.
I'll tell them. So John and I during these podcasts, we have a tendency to buy a lot of Mott's snacks or other flavored sugar and smash all of them
in one sitting.
One sitting. However much we buy is how much our serving size is.
The box is the limit.
Yeah. So we decided that's probably not very healthy. And we weighed ourselves one of these weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And we both weighed exactly the same.
200.6 pounds.
That was 0.5. Doesn't matter.
Potato.
Potato, tomato. So we decided to have a little competition and race to see who can get down to 180 pounds first. And so far, we have gained 3 pounds each.
Is that the current reading? Is that the current scale?
No.
I think you're right, though. So Kyle and I both are in a race to do about 4 things in our life right now. And we created a Excel graph, and we shared it in our Google Drive. And so we can both go in there and enter data on it at the same time and save it. And so we can both see, and we can update it any time of the day. And I access it from my phone. And so we're tracking the amount of calories that we're losing, our expenditure, which we're tracking. Our metric for that is the treadmill readout, which is like 80 to 90% accurate.
I got my Whoop, baby. Oh, yeah. You will too.
I've got my Whoop too, but my Whoop, I've been having Whoop troubles.
Now that it's hooked up to Apple.
No, it's that's a whole other topic. So we have our Whoop application. It basically is like a really fancy Fitbit that does all kinds of stuff, tracks your sleep, and
it's a smartwatch without the watch.
Exactly. It's really cool. It's a service, $30 a month, but I think it's worth it. And we're tracking calories expended, calories consumed. So we're tracking all the food we're eating. We're tracking how many hours we're studying. So I'm studying for the GRE so I can go back to grad school for my PhD. And I'm also taking an online course to specialize in the current field I have. And what are you studying?
I am studying coding, computer coding.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Trying to learn JavaScript.
Ooh, the universal language.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, we got our own projects, and and I think the last one is, what is that? The total amount lost, or like, oh, it's the weigh-in. So we
don't even track that. Are you talking about on the side?
No, just on the fourth.
Oh, yeah,
it's just the weigh-in.
Yeah,
so we weigh ourselves, whenever we decide to do that.
Yeah.
And
sometimes we take 4 days off.
Yeah, and we set up a really nice algorithm that tracks who's the most winning boy, and we have the 4 domains. So the one who studies the most, the one who loses the most weight, the one who eats who loses. I think it's like who. Yeah, consumes them. Oh, we have an algorithm where it averages our resting metabolic rate, like our daily metabolic rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's set up there's 4 different categories, but it's set up to where 2 of those categories are basically the same thing. So it's set up to where one person's always the most winning boy.
Yeah, and it does that by like a simple count if formula. So if his rate is higher or lower, then it says John winning, or if it says that. So and then it averages the amount of the 3 or 4 of those that says John or Kyle, and whoever has the most names is the most winning boy.
Who's the most winning boy right now?
It's me.
Is it you?
It's me.
When was the last time you checked it?
Today.
Oh, okay.
So I am winning, the most winning boy.
You are.
It's a slow process, but I think it's so yeah. That's what we're competing against, and it gives us a fun, civil rivalry, and but also like I've been sabotaging Kyle and stepping on the scale when he steps on, and whenever he goes to study code, I shut his internet down.
Yeah, you're winning. You're winning the studying right now for sure. I think I'm down like a pound on you.
Impossible.
And you're up about 3 hours or 4 hours of studying.
Yes, that is correct. So so that's fun. So we encourage you guys to do that, especially if you find yourself homebound a lot, is create and if you want us to walk you through that, or just Google some Excel tutorials and a shared Google Sheets or Google Drive and Google Sheets. It's all there. It's good stuff. If you want the template for what we had, I guess we can email that to you or share it to you. I'd be more than happy to do that too.
Yeah.
Just change out the John and Kyle. I mean, I guess you could assign yourself John or Kyle.
What if the people having a competition are John and Kyle?
I was going to say, what if they want to do it Rock'em Sock'em Robot style, where they're like, I'm going to play as John this time. I'm going to play as Kyle.
They're role-playing in our journey?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So, yeah, if you want to do that, or if you just go into the formula and change the names out.
This is a 30-minute episode.
I told you it was going to be.
Damn. Thought it was like 15.
Nope. Because we spent the third eating Barney-Nar-Nars and talking about absolutely nothing.
That's good content right there.
That is good content. So
we could probably cut off the second half.
People don't need to know about life and what's going on.
They want more Barney-Nar-Nars and ass talk.
Well, then we shall give it to the people if that's what they request.
The people. The people have spoken.
Oh, Michael Caine, I didn't know you were going to join us today.
I am.
I'm always here.
I'm always here in spirit.
If you have need of me, you but need think of me, and I shall come running through your vocal cords. As the British father you always wish you had.
Michael K.
Michael K.
How did that start? We said he was a Pokemon.
Yeah,
right?
we said he'd be a
Remember that?
great Pokemon because he has such a brilliant voice. He's such an amazing voice.
Michael K.
Michael K. It's funny to talk about him like, just like anything like, I'm here to fix your bathroom. And the problem is that your plumbing is just too full of poo.
I tried to plunge it for 30 minutes.
You need to ingest more fiber in your diet, you scamp.
You think a plumber's ever had such a hard job unclogging a toilet they gave dietary advice?
Oh my God, that would be terrible.
That would be really insulting.
Well, yeah, but I also, like, I feel like that makes sense. They're like, look, I've been here more than I haven't been here, and I'm going to tell you something. I see what you do in there, and you have to make some changes.
You need a lifestyle change.
I'm telling you right now, the viscosity, the clumpiness, the husks. I worry about you. Oh, that the sweet plumber. He cares.
Sweet plumber.
Mm-hmm. He's a sweet plumber.
Call the good plumber.
Call the good plumber, baby. Well, this was our bonus monthly recap episode. I hope it was enjoyable. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
You should meditate.
Well, Kyle looked around the room as though he was searching for some lost word or object to jog his memory before telling you the thing he always tells you.
Yeah, meditate, and we're still waiting for that Mott sponsorship.
Still waiting. We've got those feelers out there feeling around, just waiting.
I've got the tattoo lined up.
Yep, balls in your court, Motts. We love delicious vegetable and fruit juice since 1926 or whatever it was.
1492.
1490. That doesn't sound right.
No, that's right.
That sounds pre-American.
No.
That is pre-American.
That's in my head for some reason. It's Mott's.
So at the beginning, there was the Big Bang, and then from that explosion came the Mott's factory.
Yeah. All the planets were actually just big old Mott's. Oh, Jesus.
I opened my mouth to be surprised, but I coughed because I was so overwhelmed by that earth-shattering information.
Oh. Perceptions of reality.
Throwback. So yeah, the planets are Mott's. This is how we view the universe. So I mean, what literally more else could you ask from a consumer slash sponsor partner?
I will get a tattoo. I will get a tramp stamp.
I will watch him get that tramp stamp.
I'm also assuming this comes with a lifetime supply of Mott's.
If I don't get to bathe in Mott's every day in my tub until the sticky, sweet saccharin juices stick to my body, this is not going to work for me.
How long do you think it would take you to eat a bathtub full of Mott's?
Well, you mean us or like a normal consumer?
Us.
Kyle, do you really want to know the answer to that
Yes.
question? It would probably take 30 minutes.
30 minutes? I don't know, man. I think we'd puke in 30 minutes.
Puke and empty the bucket to make more room for Mott's in the bucket.
That's a great rhyme.
Empty the bucket, makes more room in the bucket.
Is that Slim Brady?
Slim Brady. All right. Well, this is fun for us, I think.
Uh-huh.
All right. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We're actually just rounding 200 total channel views.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. Thank you so much. We actually, when the 100 view came, Kyle and I celebrated by enjoying a 3-year-old Black and Mild, and got halfway through and decided that was the worst idea we've had.
This is the closest we had to a cigar.
Yeah.
Because every time we smoke a cigar on special occasions, we love it for the first 5 minutes, and then we keep going for 30 more minutes, and then we both end up on the ground.
Yep. Nauseous, feeling gross and out of it and heavy and just unwell.
Yeah, I don't know why we do it, but we do. And we will again.
And you can't stop us from doing this to ourselves.
Nope.
This is the toxic side of ourselves.
Keep viewing.
Self-sabotage.
Every accomplishment, we will hurt ourselves with cigars.
We will smash them into our face. Thank you guys so much. Savage Discourse couldn't exist without you. I guess it would, but like...
It kind of has for a while, actually.
Yeah, I guess it would exist, but like it would just...
It would just be us talking to each other.
Yeah, which is fine, I guess.
It's like Schrodinger's Discourse.
Oh, we should have... Oh, Kyle, we have to start over.
Oh, Schrodinger's Discourse?
Schrodinger's course of dis. Sure. All right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.